Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another review. This time is the SH Figuarts Iron Man Hot Rod Mark 22 armor from Iron Man 3. So, let's get started. Long ago, I got a custom made by my friend Gundam 00 Reviews, and he made me a custom of it because I thought we would never see this in the form of SHF. But here I am wrong, and this armor is pretty much glowing in my face. It reflects light a little too well. So, as I try to get some point of light reference and make it look good without making it look a little too flashy. There we go. Nope. There we go. Anyway, I'm excited to bring you this. It was a Marvel Heroes exclusive in Japan. I happened to get my hands on one. So let's get started. Let's rotate this a little bit. There we go. There we go. Look a little bit better. Get a little bit more shine on it. Anyway, if you have any of the War Machines from Mark II and between Mark II and Mark III, which is the Iron Patriot and the Iron Man Mark II, this is pretty much the same body because it is the prototype to the Mark II of War Machine armor. It was made by Tony and Iron Man 3. It's part of that whole Iron Legion thing when Tony got a little overzealous and overprotective. But pretty much this is the prototype. It comes after the 1.0, and what this does is that it had 1/3 of the weight with all of the protection. So this is the lead up to the Mark II, which is really dope. Now we have this semi-design of what you see in the War Machine armor, and if you look closely, get a little shine on it, you see the star is still in the middle. The star is actually the prototype to the 2.0 after what happens with the Iron Patriot, which is really dope. So I like that there's a little bit of history behind these armors, which is pretty cool. The red design is actually really cool and really sleek. It shows up as a nice candy red. My camera's not picking it up too well, but it is indeed a very nice candy red. The legs have the hot rod flames on it, like a hot rod car, which is really cool all the way around and through. So it's greatly detailed and really nice. I love this. It's absolutely wonderful. But anyway, let's jump into the articulation. The head can look up for flight pose. So as you can see, when in a flight pose, it can actually look up. It can look down. It can not tilt left and right, but it can look left and right, but not tilt. Mine seems to actually be a little bit stiff in the neck. That's something I'm actually going to take apart and check on, because I think mine's happened to be a little stiff up there. But anyway, as far as the arm rotation, it uses the old school not pulling out of the shoulder technique. So it's old school, so it's going to rotate up about this far. There's bicep swivel. The arms are double jointed, so they come in actually pretty far. As you can see here. The hands rotate very easily, and it uses the old school technology of taking off the wrist pads, I should say, not taking on. So it takes off the wrist pads, which is something I'm not a fan of, but all the way it's still really cool. Just takes a lot of time to swap that out constantly. The chest rotation revolves around the old school technology. So this one seems to be a little bit outdated, but you get what you get. It's the armor that you pay for. This one actually rotates down. So it has this much level of ab crunch. It's not the new Mark 7 level of ab crunch, so you're not going to get that crazy forward crunch. You can actually get a little bit of twist, though, out of it as it rotates. Legs use the old school drop down method, so you can actually get a ton of height. As you can see here, you can actually put it almost pretty much apart. And there's an extra little bit of wiggle room right here for thigh rotation. As you can see here, legs are double jointed. Actually extends in really far. And then you get a nice amount of ankle pivot and toe pivot as well. So yeah, there's actually a little piece for the thrusters on the back as well. So yeah, you pretty much covered in terms of lower leg articulation. You actually get a very, very versatile range, as well as the side skirts coming up to make sure nothing actually touches paint-wise. So as you can see here, which I'm going to get crazy with the posing. I'm going to make sure this flaps up. So if I had the back thruster hands on, you can actually reverse it, come back. But as you can see, let's change that focus. I wasn't even paying attention. So as you can see here, you can actually get crazy, ridiculous posing, but that looks terrible. So if we're going with something that actually looks a little bit better, what you're going to do is let's say if Rhodey was in the armor. Rhodey knows a little bit more martial arts than Tony does. And then voila, now you look a ton better. This one actually looks a ton better, Even posed like this, it looks really good and really cool pose, which is pretty dope. Now, next up, let's talk about accessories. So accessories wise, you're gonna get your standard Iron Man hands. So we're gonna go over this. You actually get the open palms. These ones are normal. Again, you exchange the wrist plates. No big deal. You get your flight hands / salute hands, depending on who you want to put in the armor, whether you want to imagine it as Rhodey or imagine it being Tony, you still get salute hands. Then you get your standard repulsor hands. Now I'm going to leave the repulsor hand on with the effect so you can see. This is it with the long effect. And it comes with the wrist pad because it actually comes, that allows you to put it on so it comes up a little forward like this for the wrist repulsor. Then you also get these shorter ones for if you were doing flight. So as you can see here, it's pretty cool. Next up, you also get the foot thrusters, which is a staple for Iron Man at this point. We already know what we're getting into. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It does not come with any of the crazy armaments that War Machine comes with. Sorry, let me move him out of the way. And the reason why that is because it's the prototype to that. But just in case you were wondering, there are armaments on the back. So if you wanted to actually attach a gun to the actual hot rod, you can. So then voila. And then as you can see here, you can get a little crazy and imagine it having its own weaponry. You know, that actually never happened. But if you want to imagine it, that's totally fine. Real quick, let's stand him up in a standard pose that gets you going. Let's get him nice up, standing up straight, looking good and dapper for the people. So we can get into the size comparisons. So during the time of Iron Man 3, there was a lot of other stuff, but I'm going to compare it to the more modern Marvel stuff, I should say. I guess it would be the more modern Marvel stuff. So real quick, I'm actually going to take out Black Widow as I show you other stuff. Here he is next to the SHF Infinity War Black Panther with a custom cape by Harker Customs. And as you can see, armor-wise, he stands a little bit taller than Black Panther, but that's mostly because I have his legs a little further down. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to fix that up as soon as I get Black Widow in hand. So let's fix him up a little bit. Give him a little bit of extra leeway. Let's actually fold this over. So as you can see in the armor, he is still taller, but he looks pretty good. Next up, I'm going to compare it to my custom painted Black Widow with the hair. Shout out to my boy Ray for doing this, Robo Ray. I appreciate that. So here he is next to Black Widow. And it looks pretty good, especially because with Widow with red hair, actually goes back to that past that they have. That's where she first appeared. So in size comparison, they look really good. I like the sizes of them. Next up, we're going to compare him to the Infinity War cap with a custom head by Old Boy. So you can see Cap and Iron Man doing their thing once again. So they look really good together. Next up, I'm going to compare Bucky. My Bucky has a custom Old Boy head as well. So there we go, size-wise. Next up, we're going to compare it to a Ninja from Articulate Icons. And then a synthetic human from 1000 Toys. So yeah, I like it. Not too big, not too small. Next up is a Mythic Legions Orc. And then last but not least, it's going to be a Mezco Cable Kit Bash, but a Punisher body. And a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. That being one of the superior Spider-Man. So size-wise, it's actually pretty good. It's looking really good there. Now, one thing I want to do before I get out of here, though, finish up. I want to actually compare him to the other armors, that being that of the Iron Patriot and the War Machine 2.0. So you can actually see what's going on here. I actually love the War Machine 2.0. Just really do. So as you can see, size-wise, they're pretty much the same. It's just a matter of preference with the colors. As you can see, my red started to fade down here. I'm hoping that doesn't happen on my hot rod. But the red stayed pretty much the same everywhere else. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And then last but not least, to my old custom, which I'm now going to retire. It's been a long time. So he's going to get retired. Does not look as good as the official release. So yeah. Anyway, I enjoy... Oh, wait, one last comparison. This is with Kamen Rider Double Heat Metal. Just want to make sure you see it because they have the similar color schemes. Not the same height though. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. Most of all, I hope you do good, be good. Drink your water, guys. Later.